In today's video, I am going to be breaking down AJ Dybantsa and how he shoots the basketball. We're going to go over his form, which is going to be a major part of this video. It has changed slightly over the last two and a half years since I made the last video, but I am going to be also going over some of the footwork that he uses and moves to be able to get his shot off. This is going to be a very important video if you want to be able to shoot the ball better and, of course, become at the elite level as AJ Dybantsa is. Really quickly, if you want to be able to shoot the ball from further away, make sure to go check out the shooting workout that is down in the description below. So I'm going to be going over not just set shots, but these fadeaways as he is going up for too, because we can learn a lot from them. So in this first fadeaway, what are we really looking at and what are some of the things that are very key on his shot? Number one, he goes off of his left leg and he slightly kicks his right leg out. This allows for his right side to be in line with the basket. See, not many players shoot completely squared up to the rim. Every player, almost every single one, shoots with a slight tilt away from the basket. This is because they want to get their shoulder and elbow and ball in line with the rim. As we can see, the elbow and shoulder are pretty well in line with where the rim is, and the ball is above that shoulder / upper arm. This is what I call the shooting triangle, and that is very important. So on these turnaround fadeaway jumpers, you need to be able to kick that leg out so that you get your right side in line. Now, the other thing I want to point out is the fact that when he goes for these fadeaways, he's not leaning away from the basket. Everyone thinks that a fadeaway is when you're way leaning away from the basket. That's not the case. You're actually still going straight up and straight back down. However, you're just going off your back leg and kicking your front leg out so that you can get your right side in line. And even on these turnaround jumpers going towards his right side, he's still able to kick his right side out so that he gets his shoulder and elbow and ball in line with the basket. This one's just harder to see. Now, when he does this move right here, he now has gathered the ball. His palm is pretty well under that ball. He's on both feet, so he could use either foot as a pivot. So he could shoulder fake this way as he has and turn this way, or he could shoulder fake this way, and then turn this way and pull for the shot. This is a very deadly spot, even though his back is to the rim. The reason also is he's looking around, looking on his backside for backside cutters, but also to see what this man and his defender is doing. When he turns into this shot, watch how his knee is able to move. On this turnaround jumper, he's able to get his knee back over top of his toe, which is going to allow him to be balanced. He has a good angle when it comes to his hip and that lead leg, slightly lower than 90 degrees, which is going to give him a lot of power. And then when he goes up for his shot, watch what he does. This is a very good shot. His hand placement is perfect. His right hand is underneath that ball. Left hand is in the top quarter of the ball. This is roughly where you want it to be, especially if you have a high release over your head. You want to be able to shoot like this. Shooting from your chest doesn't work, especially in this case. But also look at his shoulder, elbow, and ball. About, I would say, a quarter, maybe third of the ball is over top of his shoulder / upper arm. This is always going to be a straight shot as long as his shoulder, elbow, and ball are all in line like this. It will always be a straight shot as long as it is all pointing towards the rim. And again, he's not fading away. Look at how he's going straight up and straight back down on this fadeaway. You don't massively lean. A lot of players make that mistake. And when he releases, elbows above the forehead, slightly hard, slightly soft release. It's a soft finger release, but it's a hard release when it comes to his wrist, because his wrist is not a total curve like this with his hand. It's a hard, almost 90-degree angle, and then his fingers kind of curl. So this is kind of a good mix between like an MJ and a Steph Curry, where you're getting that softer release, where you're getting that more loft on that ball, more arc. However, that harder release on the wrist is going to allow him to have more of a backspin on this ball. Now, this is more of a set shot, but the ball goes up his weak side. Now, before we start commenting and saying this is a terrible shot, it looks like LaMelo Ball, we have to remember the defender's hand is right here. If he goes up the right side, that's going to be blocked, which means that he needs to be able to know how to go up both sides, his left as well as right side as well as middle, depending on the situation that he is in. However, when it gets to his set point will always be the same. Whether he goes up straight middle, right side, or left side, it doesn't matter. That shoulder, elbow, and ball are always going to be in line with the rim. And if we go back just a little bit, right here, his base, his knees, his hips, his shoulders are all facing essentially the same way. Obviously, his head is facing this way because the rim is over on that side, but watch when he goes up into his shot. While his upper body does turn and body does turn slightly, shoulders, hips, knees, and feet are all pointing still the same direction. This allows you to have a very consistent shot. By having your body in line, not necessarily square to the rim, but in line with each other, and having the shooting triangle in line, as long as that elbow is pointing towards the rim, you are always going to have a straight shot. This is a very consistent shot. Now, if we look at the angle of his elbow, which is something that I like to look at, it's about 110-ish degrees, which is quite interesting. It's not quite 90. It is a higher release, which makes sense why it is 110 roughly. But at 90, it might be slightly more power, but overall this is a fantastic shot. And then when he does step back, so this would be the closest thing to like a normal shot for him. Obviously his feet are slightly more closer together because it was a step back. He didn't exactly get them set like he normally would. His feet are usually just a bit wider. However, going up the middle of his body is a regular shot for him. He has long arms. A lot of players are going to find that going up the middle of his body is going to allow him to have a more consistent shot. And versus today, he still has on those step backs very close feet, but he goes up the middle of his body. And I do like this shot. The middle of the forehead shot for somebody who has longer arms can actually help them quite a bit. He still has about a quarter of that ball over his upper arm, which is still going to be a very straight shot. And when he goes for the release, we can see that from frame by frame, he doesn't exactly have a thumb flick. Now the thumb does sit on there for a bit longer, but it doesn't flick. His palm does not face the rim. And as we can see right here, he releases on his middle finger. A lot of players will release and have their hand more closer to the right side of that ball so that they have their middle and pointer finger releasing at the same time, but his hand is pretty well centered on that ball, which means that it has to go off the middle finger. Will this affect the consistency of his shot? Potentially, because you generally want two fingers releasing the ball at the end, not one, because on one, it can tilt one way or the other. But at the same time, this is a way that a lot of older school coaches still to this day teach shooting. Is it wrong? No. A lot of players have thrived shooting and releasing off the middle finger. I'm one of them. But it will give this weird kind of quarter side spin if this is the type of shot that he continues to shoot with. And then when he makes contact, watch how he makes contact and then goes into his shot. This is a tip that everyone should have. So he makes this contact and then he goes into his set point after. Make the contact first and then go to your set point and then make your shot, as we can see in this clip right here. I hope that this video has helped you become a better shooter. If it has, make sure to go check out the shooting workout that is down in the description below so that you can be able to shoot from further distances away from that rim. I'll see you guys again in my next video.